everything that's grey wasn't there before when I bought the boat. It's all been recast, remoulded, rejigged. There was a hole, there's another hole, that hole goes all the way down the keel. Another hole there, this seam here and here was all gone. There was no fiberglass in there at all, up to about that point, most of the way along. This corner was entirely gone. This is all being rebuilt. There's another hole there off the rollers from the trailer. That was a crack which I've ground out. It's all going to get another 3 layers on top. That was another hole there from the rollers. Another hole there from the rollers on the trailer. Another hole. Don't know how this boat floated. It was actually floating when I picked it up. It just been filled up with car body filler. This seam along here wasn't worn through, but it was in a bad way. It was really thin, so that's been given another 3 to 6 layers of glass. These were just big gouges from landing on rocks, which have all been ground out. There's another hole that needs to get another 3 layers of mat put into it. That's off the rollers again. Trailer rollers, get rid of them, guys. They're a nightmare. Another trailer roller hole. That corner was gone again. This was all split all the way along here. Just worn through, just years of crashing up onto rocks. This side wasn't actually as bad as the other side. This was worn out. Most of this I had to grind back out because there wasn't enough glass left in it. These were holes that were previously filled by the last owner with fiberglass. These patches actually came from there up to about there. You can see where the car body filler was, and basically it filled all the way up through there. But it was all cracked, it was nasty. And this horrible paint, I have no idea what it was, but it's been a nightmare to grind off. The whole boat is covered in it, front to back. All that underneath there at the bow, that's all been replaced, rebuilt from scratch. This was all gone. There's still a lot of work to do on that boat. It's not quite the same shape as it was originally. I've actually extended these lips here. These would have normally come to about there, but I've brought them forward a few inches because if anybody knows dories, you get wet. So hopefully that'll keep the spray down a little bit off the bow. Both sides being extended forward, so the front is actually a little bit more square than it was originally. It's only just got one about 20 degrees from the bow. But inside of here, I've actually put another 7 layers inside of the bow because all of this here, this section is just filled up with car body filler and fiberglassed over, and there was a big lump that I ripped off it. Big lump of fiberglass that had been put on really badly. Using some sort of resin, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was decorative resin though, and it had been put on with onion sacks, believe it or not. There was actually no fiberglass used in the resin, it was just onion sacks that I'd used, which were plastic. So that came off really easily, thankfully. Didn't have to grind much of that, it just ripped it off. But you can see where I've had to basically build it up from the inside. Most of this grey here was actually built up from the inside and shaped. And then there'll be another 3 layers of glass going onto the front once I've ground that car body filler back out. So I put layers in, took layers out, put layers in, took layers out, just to get the shape again. But all of that had just worn out with rope over the years. The boat had been sitting since 1980s on a swinging mooring, and the rope had just wore the front of the bow out, which I didn't actually realise when I first got it, because it had been so badly repaired. There was repairs on top of repairs which had destroyed the bow. And then when I took it out, there was nothing left, and I was at a decision, should I keep going or should I stop? And I'm glad I kept going, because I wanted an Orkney dory to make this project anyway. But I only paid £100 for the boat, so it was worth the money for what I wanted to do, because I was just going to end up paying 4 figures for a better quality boat to do exactly the same work. Maybe it's not the holes and things, I wasn't expecting the holes. But up to now, I think I've spent about 1,800 quid on materials, which I haven't used all of them yet. I'm about halfway through, just on these repairs. Then a lot more for modifications that are going to go inside the hull. It's going to end up with it's going to end up with 1 ballast tank up front, up this section, because it's an Orkney. It doesn't actually have foam in the hull. It's just got stringers. It's got fiberglass stringers, but I'll show that in another video. But I'm going to put, like I say, a ballast tank in here, which is going to be sealed with just a 6-inch inspection cap. And then there's going to be a connection pipe to go to another live well, which will sit in this area, down towards the stern. Centre console sitting up about here. There's 2 areas where there's box section in there, which are just stringers basically, and they're being filled up with foam. They're going to get removed from the inside, obviously, at a later date. Same on that side, and it's actually going to have big storage compartments for rope and things like that, because I do like small amounts of lobster and crab pots, whelk pots and things like that, so it's always handy to keep ropes out of the way, especially such a small boat, so everything will be at hand. So I'll be able to grab everything from the seat and work the boat from the centre console seat. And that's about it for the time being. The plan of action today is I've just spent 3 hours rubbing that down, so I can put maybe 3 to 6 layers of glass all the way down the keel, just down that 1 6-inch strip, to put it down here. So there'll be a brand new 6-inch strip front to back, right the way down to the transom, and then that should stiffen that back up. Then down the stern here, where the bait well, the live well is going to be, this fiberglass is really bad wear, inside and out. You can hear it. It's delaminated from the inside. I think there's about 7 or 8 layers of glass, and it's delaminated from the inside. So what I'm going to do is, because the hull's got a hook in it here, it's actually got a slope that goes in. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. You can just about see the seam there from the stringer where the boat flexes. So I'm going to put 4 layers of glass just in this section, just in there, just to lift that up again and stiffen the back end of the hull on both sides, and that'll go all the way down to here. So there'll be 6 layers going on there and a full seam all the way over there for today, and I should get that done in the next 3 to 4 hours with a little bit of luck, and then start again, and hopefully this weekend I'll get the hull back in gel coat after it's had an awful lot more fiberglass over the top, because once that entire hull has been patched up, stiffened, strengthened, I'm going to put 3 or 4 layers of glass on, then flatten it all back out again, because as you can see it's not flat, because it's had so many layers on, so many chips taken out of the fiberglass. All of that will need flattened back out, but that shouldn't be a hard job. Get the belt sander on that and it should only take us a day to get that nice and flat again. And then hopefully Sunday get that back into gel coat and then let it sit for a week, let it go brick hard, and then get it back the right way up and then start on the inside, which should be a lot more fun than this, because what I've had to do on the hull I didn't want to do, but it's got to be done if I want to keep the boat for as long as I do and make it do the jobs I want to do. And then hopefully I might be able to get out and get some sea trout and stuff before the year's out. But anyway, that's that for now. I'll report back in when I've got a bit more to show you.